How's it going, everyone? It's Pilot Flame, and I am back with another video. Sorry for the long delay in videos and content. My ISP was not allowing me to stream with a nice bit rate that I wanted. So unfortunately, I had to get that sorted. We're now in testing with a new ISP, and hopefully that's looking all right. I see down here I don't have any drop frames anymore, so that's usually a thumbs up from me. So hopefully we can get the streams back up and running. It's been 2 weeks of FPL, as I wasn't able to do week 2 or week 3, so we're going to do both the reviews at the same time. So let's kick right into it. So game week 2, this is what my team looked like over here. It was a bit of a mess. There was some good parts, some good, some bad, yeah. We'll say that. We got 51 points this game week. I'm just going to show this because I have my current game week as in game week 3 up on the screen. So we have 51 points. We had an average points in the whole league of 41, which actually went up to, I think it was around 120, 130k. Let me just check. Game week history. I went up to 160k, sorry. 160k. Highest points was 119. And let's just go through the team really quickly. So we had Pope in goal. He got us 3 points. So even without a clean sheet, got some save points even after conceding 2 goals against Arsenal. Very nice. Robertson, bit disappointing again. Digne, the superstar of the week. Zinchenko only with 1, and Van Dijk with 2. Obviously conceding late on in their game as well. Then playing Southampton. Unfortunately, conceding the late goal because of Adrian's mistake. Then we had Perez, who hasn't done anything at all. I'm trying to give him one more week for game week 4. Maybe get rid of him depending on Martial, as he's flagged currently. Got injured in game week 3, but we'll have to see. So had Salah captain, blanked on the captain. The best captain choice would have obviously been Digne for my team, but I would have either gone with Salah or Sterling. Was obviously better to go with Sterling, but what can you do? He got the clean sheet point before he came off. So Martial got his goal, Callum Wilson with the assist, King with the goal, obviously for the penalty. And then the most disappointing thing was Lundstrom on the bench with 14. Didn't come in to replace anyone. I was considering playing him over Zinchenko. I should have, obviously, in hindsight, but that's hindsight's 2020. So unfortunately, we have to take those. Unfortunately, we have to take those. Not the greatest. But we moved on. So we moved on to game week 3, which was this current game week. Yeah, I went a bit crazy. As you can see up the top here, we got up at the top of the screen up here. You can see game week points. We had 57, which was a good score, a decent score, but we had a -8, so we effectively had a 49. So the average being a 44, and based on my current rank, I went back down to where I was. With the players that I transferred out, so I took out Van Dijk, who ended up getting 1 point anyway, so that was fine for Sonyu, so we made some points there. We also took the likes out of Josh King, who didn't score. He only got 2 points. Wilson, who ended up getting an assist. And then lastly, we took out Den Donker. However, the players that we brought in did not make up the points, even though Pookie got us 11 points. Wickham, we obviously did not play because he is a bench player, just like Den Donker would have been for us as well. And our captain, because I had a bright idea to bring in a Spurs player, and I didn't want to bring in Kane. I wanted to bring in somebody different. He was a differential. It's the one time that someone's going to be a differential. I brought him in and captained him, and it didn't work out. So if we would have captained Salah, we would have been in the money. We would have been looking so it would have been 2 less, so we would have been at 55 -8, which would have been effectively 47, but we would have gained 15, so we would have been at what would that have been? That would have been 62, something like that. It would have been in the 60s, which would have been obviously a really good score for a -8. So we're definitely hoping to get the captaincy choice, as we blanked on that twice in a row now. So we're hoping to make things right this week. Obviously, the highlights of the week: Son Yu obviously getting an assist, very nice. Martial got an assist. Sterling obviously scored and got bonus. Salah 2 goals, fantastic. Pookie brought him in, goal assist, fantastic. But obviously the rest of the back line very disappointing. Everton failing to pretty much do anything. Liverpool conceding 1 to Arsenal was probably going to happen, but it's fine. City conceding was, a bit weird, but it is what it is. Can't expect clean sheets all the time. Perez just didn't do anything again. So we're potentially looking at something to where we can potentially transfer him out. And then basically what we're going to be doing is maybe moving him or Martial out for the likes of Kevin De Bruyne. So let's look at this game week coming. So it's just a quicker recap because we have to do 2 and 1. So this game week, we are going to look at the fixtures first. So let's scroll down here. We have the early kickoff is United versus Southampton, hoping to come back after a pretty miserable defeat against Palace. Not the greatest performances there overall. Their way to Southampton, and at the 11 o'clock kickoffs. These are all in my time zone, by the way. So these are, I'm 1 hour ahead of EST. So we have a lot of games actually all at the same time, all but 3 basically. So what's that? That works out to be 6 games at the same time. So we got Chelsea at home to Sheffield United. Crystal Palace is at home versus Aston Villa. Leicester is at home versus Bournemouth. Man City at home versus Brighton. Newcastle at home versus Watford. And lastly, West Ham at home versus Norwich. In the afternoon, we have the 1:30 kickoff of Burnley at home at Turf Moor versus Liverpool. On the Sunday at the 10 o'clock kickoff, we have Everton at home to Wolves, and the last game of the week, the North London Derby. Arsenal hosting Spurs at the Emirates. So, some key points of the games that we can see is obviously Man City has an insanely good fixture at home. So probably looking at Sterling captain almost by default, or Aguero captain, or a KDB captain. One of those 3 is probably what you're looking at the moment in time. Chelsea seemingly have a good fixture on paper, so maybe one of their assets there. Leicester have a pretty decent fixture at home. Bournemouth not really very stable at the back at the moment. And Norwich having a good away fixture. West Ham not being a team that usually keeps a lot of clean sheets. Liverpool away to Burnley may find it tough, but we'll have to see. And then anything obviously can happen in the Sunday Super Slam, as it were, with the North London Derby. So let's go through our differentials from before. Oh no, I don't think they were actually recorded, so we'd have to start fresh then. Unfortunately, we only got the game week 1 one. So let's go through some potential differentials. So we have goalkeeper. Let's start with goalkeeper. I think that my differential for this week, who shall it be? Let's go look at some keepers, shall we? Let's go to Newcastle. I want to say Dubravka is under 5% owned. He is at 1% owned, and he's 5 million. I think Dubravka, it will be our differential goalkeeper for this week. Obviously coming off a very good win versus Spurs. And Watford is terrible, to put it mildly. So, yeah, we're going to be potentially seeing Dubravka at a clean sheet. Is he worth 5 million? No, but if you're on a wild card, then he may be worth it. But obviously Newcastle is just a one-off punt basically. If you want to transfer him in this week instead of having, like me, having Pope versus Liverpool, it might be something to consider. But obviously he is 5 million, he is more expensive, and his fixtures are not the greatest for the next 5 game weeks overall. He only has the Brighton at home, Watford at home, and the rest are just against the top 6 basically. That'll be my differential. That's why it's a differential. In defense, who are we thinking is getting a clean sheet? Maybe as well. Let's look at Aston Villa, because I think Tyrone Mings is he a differential? 3.5% owned, so he is a differential. I think I'm going to go him for my differential defender this week against Palace. They did come off a win versus United, but it seems like they're bad against the bad teams and good against the good teams, maybe. So, and Mings has obviously been their standout defender so far in the first 3 game weeks. So we'll go with Tyrone Mings for our differential for defender. Into the midfield, we are going to look at the likes of Leicester, I think, here. So let's go to Leicester. How well owned is Mr. James Maddison? He's 11% owned. Is Perez dropped down? Nope. Tielemans is 4.3% owned. Yeah, maybe we'll go with Tielemans, because obviously he hasn't done much, was very good when he was with Leicester last season. We'll go with Tielemans to see if we can create something happen. His price just went down, so he is cheaper than what he was before by 0.1 million, and he is at home to Bournemouth, and Bournemouth not necessarily the most prevalent team at keeping clean sheets. So maybe something you can look at there, if potentially on a wildcard, as a differential for that 0.6 million, not 0.5, cheaper than Maddison. And at the same price as Iosi Perez. And since he's playing in the center of the park, most of Leicester's kind of main counterattacks go from CDM, where Ndidi stands, and then straight through the middle. Or it's typically sprayed out wide, but most times it is through the middle to Maddison and then into Vardy and behind. So that's kind of what you have to look at there. Or potentially the likes of Harvey Barnes as well. I'm going to stick with Tielemans, but Harvey Barnes is also a decent shout if he plays. Problem is he hasn't been, so not really much you could do there. But maybe he gets a start. We will have to see. Only made 2 bench appearances and was not involved at all against Chelsea. Into the forwards now. I was going to click Mason Greenwood, but I know he's 15% owned because a lot of people know that he gets bench points now. Let's see. Just looking at some fixtures here. Not many good forward options this week. However, Danny Ings I'm going to go with this week because obviously United not looking good versus Palace. Maybe even worse versus Southampton. We'll have to see. He's 2.2% owned. Comes in at a low 6 million and maybe lower by the time he goes to play. And he's a former Liverpool player, and he's going to be coming up against his old nemesis in Man United. So maybe something there, maybe a bit of rivalry there. Maybe he gets a little extra check in the mail or something from Liverpool. I don't know. But there's always that like former club, I play for Liverpool, so therefore I shouldn't like Man United. So that's potentially something to look at there. So those are my 4 differentials. So we're going with Dubravka from Newcastle in goal, Tyrone Mings from Aston Villa in defense. In midfield, we are going to go with Tielemans from Leicester and Danny Ings as the Southampton striker. Alright, so let's go back to our team here. So let's look at what we have to deal with this week. So I took a -8 last week, so I kind of don't want to take a hit this week. However, we have this potentially to deal with, and Iosi Perez being crap. So this is the way my team is currently going to play. However, if I knew Martial was definitely out, I would obviously play Mason Greenwood. But if Martial's in, I obviously want to play him. Because if Martial's out, then they almost certainly have to play Greenwood, surely. The things that I'm not worried about this week, I'm not worried about Everton, that'll fix itself. Leicester, that'll fix itself. They're both home fixtures. They're typically more favorable than away, whether they concede or not. Liverpool should sort themselves out, mind you. Ashley Barnes has been a bit of a nightmare. We've already transferred Van Dijk out. And I kind of want to keep one Liverpool defender. I wish this was Trent, now that I'm thinking about it, because set piece delivery is just awesome. Like, it's super, super good. Like, when you see Trent on the ball, you're just like, it's always going to be a good delivery. It's like when Kevin De Bruyne is on the ball. It's like, it's always going to be good. Zinchenko could be on barred time. Obviously, he's probably still going to play. No Mendy in the squad last week, so that bodes well for him getting a start this week. So I think he'll likely stay in unless Pep says something on the press conferences on Friday. Into the midfield, Son, anything can happen in the North London derby. We brought him in because we thought he was going to be good. He didn't. And if we look at Spurs' fixtures going onwards, they're decent through the way through. Crystal Palace at home. Palace, they're going to sit two banks of 5, probably. But he should do decently against Palace. Leicester, he should be okay, because Leicester like to at least play football. Southampton, decent, like to play football. Brighton's a little bit less park the bus nowadays. Watford's just bad. So he should do decently in these fixtures. And then it gets a bit in and out for Son. But he's a 9.5 midfielder. We'll have to see how he goes. We brought him in. We can't just immediately take him out. That's not why we play, or that's not how we play the game. We don't flip-flop. I need him to do something, because he's done nothing. If he scores versus Bournemouth, like let's say he scores versus Bournemouth. If his price goes back up to 6.5, I will probably get rid of him. Because we may be just wild carding during the international break anyway. But we'll have to see how things go, if there's injuries or anything like that. But I'm trying to stick to my word, and I'm trying to see if I can keep him in for this fixture and see what happens. And just hope that Bournemouth doesn't absolutely annihilate me, because we got rid of both Wilson and King. Martial, he's flagged, so he may be on his way out. So we'll be looking at what ways I could potentially transfer him out. Sterling is going to be the captain, almost 99.9% here. Maybe Pookie, but I mean Brighton at home. Like, when does Sterling not start at home versus a team where they could just absolutely annihilate in the first half? If you have Aguero, I'd also think about him as a captain option too, because obviously Aguero at home is more prolific than he is away. Jesus is apparently injured, I want to say. Let me just go check his flag in FPL. I remember hearing that he was injured. Let's see, Jesus, he is back September 14th, which is not this week coming, so that is after the international break. So he's going to be out for a little bit. So if you do have Aguero, maybe you're on a wild card, 1 week punt, transfer him out for Kane afterwards, or Aubameyang, somebody like that. And then you can take a look at their fixtures, or you can downgrade him something the likes of maybe Rashford, who's fit still, although he did miss a penalty, so maybe he's not on penalties anymore, but almost certainly will probably still stay on them, even if he did miss. But we'll have to see. Salah, obviously not going anywhere. You know, he's scored 15 points last week, and he's just being good, but that also could have easily been Mane as well. So, you know, anyone who had Mane and is thinking to transfer him out for Salah, I mean, Mane could easily score 2 goals this week, and Salah could get nothing. Who knows? And then Pookie's just a legend. Like, he's just what you want in FPL. Somebody cheap, somebody who scores all the time. He plays for a crap team, and you know he's the only person that's going to do the damage for the most part, you know. So, and then the bench we have obviously non-playing goalkeeper, Mason Greenwood, who may be starting and Martial's out. Lundstrom, we have him second on the bench because he'll play, and Wickham will probably get 1 point. maybe off the bench. Yeah, we'll probably keep it like this because the likelihood that Wickham starts is none. I mean, did he even get anything? Nah, he didn't even get anything. Played 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 0 minutes. So, he's just there to be there. And then the one big worrying point is this. So I have 2 Liverpool assets. Pope's at home, but he's versus Liverpool. And his fixtures afterwards are good. So if worst case scenario, we can bring back on the wild card. If we need to. Because he has this nice run of fixtures here. And even his red is a Chelsea at home. So it's a lot more difficult for Chelsea. Now, after that, we just never want to have him. But regardless of that, let's see what potential transfers we can do this week. So, let me just adjust this a little bit here. We have 0.7 in the bank currently, which means we can just upgrade Pope to a 5 million goalkeeper if we wanted to, and then wildcard them back out during the international break. And the thing is, if, let's say hypothetically, Liverpool get a penalty, Salah's on penalties. So if Salah misses, or it gets saved, well, I mean, Salah misses, well, then it helps Burnley out. So I guess it's not terrible. However, I am dreading Liverpool just scoring 4 goals and none of them being Salah. Like, what happens if there's a game like it was latter third of last season? I think there was a game where it was either 4 or 5-0, I want to say 4 or 5-0. And Liverpool basically, like, Van Dijk scored 1, Trent scored 1, like Origi scored 2, and like Mane scored 1, and they were all assisted by like the wing backs. Like, imagine a scenario like that where it's just it's just devastating if you have Salah. I mean, Robertson, it's fine, but I think it was like Robertson got like 1, maybe 2 assists in that game. Yeah, they got the clean sheet, but is it still worth it? I don't know. Now, if they win 4-0 and Salah gets a hat trick and Robertson gets 2 assists, okay, I'm not going to complain. I'll just say, okay, Pope gets 0 and just hope he gets save points, really. So that may be something that we could potentially just keep and just bite the bullet and hope it's like, let's say Pope gets, let's say Liverpool win 2-0. Pope, actually, here would be a good scenario. This would be a really good scenario. So Milner's on the pitch. So Milner would take penalties over Salah. Milner gets the penalty saved. And then Salah scores a brace. 2 assists from Robertson. Bang. There's your scenario right there. That's what we need. That already feels better. Alright, we'll keep him Pope. Oh, man. Okay, so we need to figure out if Martial's injured. If Martial's injured, what is his current price right now? We've already made 0.1 on him. If he plays, his fixtures after the international break aren't bad. I mean, Leicester at home's not great. West Ham away should be pretty easy. But if Martial is out, because remember, again, we still have our wild card, we can do Martial out. We can bring in, we're on Man City. We can bring in Kevin De Bruyne. And then we are 1.4 off, and we can downgrade potentially Zinchenko. Zinchenko can go to a 4 million. And we still keep our 5 in midfield. We have our 3 at the back, or 4 at the back, because Lundstrom would play versus Chelsea. So we'd have 4 at the back, 5 midfield, 1 up top, and Pukki. So we will have to. That's one option. The other option is to just do nothing. But I feel like this Brighton at home game, I don't know if it's just because it's a glaring fixture or what, but like I really want De Bruyne. The problem is if we're going into it and we need to wild card in Game Week 4, because we have to start thinking about that, because it is an international break after this, is that we could be looking at the likes of, you know, something catastrophic like a 5-0 City win with KDB triple assist, max bonus, Aguero hat trick or something dumb. And that's just like, yeah, we get the clean sheet points and Sterling could do nothing, but then we're just in a world of trouble here. We're just in an absolute mess, basically. So we would just be in a mess. What other fixtures do we have to think about? Chelsea is a potential thing to think about. Now, Chelsea picked up their first win. It wasn't great. They still scored. But we still have to think about them, potentially. So if we look at the likes of any Chelsea assets, the problem with Chelsea's team is that the only person that we would think about getting would be Mason Mount, but he is flagged as well, so we're not sure in that department. Because we could easily go from like Martial to Mount for a week, or we can go to Perez to Mount for a week. Abraham's just too expensive at 7.1. Just doesn't make sense to bring him in. We could potentially go Zinchenko to the likes of maybe Emerson, maybe. Obviously, he didn't play great, but a left back is always potential to do something. Left back or right back is always potential to do something. Another fixture we could potentially look at is another Everton defender, but that's not even a good option. At least if we take out Zinchenko, we're trading a City player for a City player, so we're at least getting our coverage, quote unquote, for that. But yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, there's my socks. There's the socks that I needed. I was wondering why it was getting a bit cold in here. So, it's something that we have to consider. There's no feasible way we're getting in Aguero. That's just not happening. So we need to make sure that if we are going into this game, we probably want KDB. Will KDB outscore Zinchenko this game week? Almost certainly, as if he plays. Because KDB's just an assist machine. Like, he's just straight nonsense. And when he's fit. So if we look at him, 7, 11, 5. Like, he's got an assist every game. And the dude always gets bonus. He always gets bonus. Like, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy how much damage he could potentially do. I think we're going to leave it there. We'll have the game week review, or the game week preview rather, on Friday, and we'll potentially see if I have KDB already in my team, or maybe on the stream. We'll have to see. We'll have to look at the press conferences. We'll have to see what other moves people are potentially looking at as well, because we obviously want to take in as much intel as we can. So hopefully we can check all those different sources out. As it stands now, let's go back to the original team. This is what we're looking at. So we have Pope in goal against Liverpool at Turf Moor. We have Digne at home against Wolves. We have Sonyu at home against Bournemouth. We have Robertson away versus Pope against Burnley. We have Zinchenko currently at home against Brighton. Son away to Arsenal. Perez at home to Bournemouth. Martial away to Southampton. Sterling captained at home to Bournemouth. Salah vice-captained away to Burnley. And Pukki leading the front line away to West Ham, with Greenwood, Lundstram, and Wickham in the bench. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for us today. Make sure to leave a like and thumbs up on the video when it goes up on YouTube. Make sure to follow the stream for more notifications. We got our little FPL sort of overlay going on here. So yeah, like I said, make sure to follow the stream. Just click the little follow button. I don't know if it's there or there, but so you can see when we go live. Make sure you follow us at PilotFlame226 on Twitter so you know when streams are going live. We'll have one on Friday for sure. That'll probably be an earlier stream than what I started tonight. And then we can see if I've made any transfers or anything like that and go from there. So it's a good night from me. This video will be going back up on YouTube. If you want to review it later, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, or dislike if you want me to make some adjustments or you disagreed. We are always looking for constructive criticism. We're always looking to see all the FPL enthusiasts' opinions on the show, because at the end of the day, everyone's looking to be number one. So it's a good night from me, and I'll see you all in the next one. See you. It's good to be back.